We were talking about like the Democrats, the new Democrats versus the old Democrats. My brother was saying that this new Democratic Party was putting life into the Democratic Party. That we're actually making them stronger. I'm arguing that they were the new blood is making them weaker because we are not as a united front. And what was the argument against
I
that?
was saying that there really wasn't a Democratic Party. There was Republicans and Republicans light,
Yeah.
because the Republicans did amazingly horrible things, and these bitch ass Democrats didn't do anything to stop them. They allowed what's his name, Lindsey Graham,
Right.
to run amok, and nobody checked him. Nobody sanctioned or censored or anything him. They just took it.
Yeah.
And like they do all kind of things to Obama, and Obama just took it. I'm gonna take the high ground. Fuck no. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. I still say they divide the party, but I was also going to say the new blood helped the party because it helped with the blue wave and the new us winning back the Senate. Was it? No, the House,
The House, yeah.
which is really running amok on Donald Trump right now.
I don't know, running amok. I would say beginning to check him.
Yeah.
But the only reason that they're having a hard time is because the other Democrats are not on board with it. They're trying to play nice and want to make friends and whatnot. No, I say you take all those people, the Steve Mnuchin and all of Trump's people, and you start everybody who's involved with it, start taxing them $25,000 a day for not
Showing up.
yeah, not showing up
Oh,
and
yeah.
not doing their part. Let the Republicans argue, oh no, we should allow them not to show up, because then when it's the Democrats' turn, they can play those same messages about the Republicans. Oh yeah, why do you want them not to show up now?
Yeah. Like actually, but the whole loophole, we thought like we had them with the whole contempt of Congress and all that stuff, but like that's just once again Democrats getting their hopes up. The Democrats, they get their hopes up too much for stupid shit.
No.
But here's the thing, like that whole contempt of Congress, guess who was able to waiver it? The motherfucker who was held in contempt of Congress, and of course Trump backed him up, calling it executive privilege or whatever.
That's the problem right there, is that these Democrats are weak. You don't hold them in contempt. You simply tell Barr, every day you don't show up, you owe us $25,000.
Yeah.
Let them fight that in court. And all the time they're fighting it in court, that number is running up. So I guarantee you, they're gonna want a speedy and reasonable conclusion. And any reasonable judge will be like, "Well, why aren't you showing up?" Well, because I don't feel I have to. Okay, then pay these people their money.
Yeah, there is a bad side to that, is because it might backfire, and you possibly countersue, and I don't know who they're going to bill the countersue.
You can't
to.
countersue. If the cops tell you we're gonna throw you in jail, can you countersue them?
That's true. You could countersue the city or whatever. But like there's a slim chance you countersue. Here's the thing: Barr doesn't have Trump money. Barr doesn't have the we got $100,000 or the $20,000 every time he's held in contempt.
Then he needs to show his ass up to court.
Yeah, which he will eventually do.
And that's the bottom line, is that all of them, you take all that money and you invest it into minority organizations. You said, thank you, Mr. Barr.
You really can't invest it into any minority thing, but it will be money back into the what do you call it?
Back into the system. Yeah. I got arrested for not showing up to court on a traffic ticket.
Oh yeah, a lot of people.
FTA is the same thing as a subpoena. Why is it that he gets to walk around and whatnot? Have the sergeant of arms? In fact, don't arrest him. Forget the arresting.
Just find him every day.
Find him every day. Be like, you know what? We've decided you need to show up by 5 p.m. today. If you're not here today, the clock starts running. Every day you owe us 25 G's. After about 10 days, he'll realize, you know what? That's $250,000.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Trump doesn't have the money to pay for that. You get everybody. You give him a list of every single person you want to talk to, and you tell them anybody who doesn't show up, the clock on that 25,000 starts to run.
Mm-hmm.
You have 20 or 30 people. I guarantee you, they're not going to.
Yeah, one of them's gonna crack because they're like, I don't got it. Like this guy got it. With the other people, I don't want to get fucked for this. I've got an election coming up, and I'm going to need these funds to pay for commercials and shit. Yeah, I can't do that. I'm gonna just show up.
Yep, I mean, and when they get there, you can ask them all the hard questions.
Yeah, one thing that's not talked about on that is I saw a piece of it on C-SPAN when Barr didn't show up. One of the Republicans that were there talking to him, they said this one Republican says it is a travesty of justice that he didn't show up, and this sets a bad precedent. So that one Republican admitted what Barr did was wrong, and then he went to go defend him. So that's so they know it's wrong, yet they still defend the actions and stuff. Hold on. One other thing they do that they keep saying and doing. They go, it's been 2 years, some odd millions of dollars. Can't the Democrats get over it? Can't the Democrats just let go of this bone? Yeah, just like how they didn't let go of healthcare, just like how they never let go of Benghazi, despite 7 trials in Benghazi and Hillary not getting convicted one time, and 40 failed attempts, probably 42 since the Trump era, failed attempts to repeal Obamacare straight up, yet they still keep going at it. And you know what, though? Over time, they're able to chip away at it, just like we're chipping away at this Mueller report. Because this motherfucker obstructed justice. The fucking guy investigating said, I'm only not arresting him because he's president. So
there are 700 lawyers and people that worked in legal office that said, of course we would arrest him. Of course this is a clear-cut case of obstruction of justice. Barr was put in there to kibosh the Mueller report.
Yeah, he once talked about it before he got the position.
Yeah, not just that, but Barr has done this before. This is not his first go around this. He did it with the Iran-Contra. He was responsible for releasing the report for Congress on what was going on with the Iran-Contra. This motherfucker summarized it in a couple of pages, and when they were forced to bring out the actual report, he got in trouble for basically lying.
That's it. Yeah. Can you turn on your radio? What do you call it? Copyright. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
Pull up the beer.
He's recording.
Yeah. This is for YouTube.
Yeah, he's doing a little podcast.
Sorry.
Oh, Jose.
Sorry.
I can tell Jamaica we can go have some beers one day. Are you down?
Who?
Jamaica.
You don't have to drink. You can drive.
Go have some beers.
I don't drink.
Oh, we're gonna get you drunk. You're gonna cry about Neffy, and we're gonna have to talk you off the ledge.
About somebody else, but not Neffy. We out of here, guys.
All right.
We gotta head out to TJ Maxx now. The Princess Miss Shoes.
Oh, okay. Bye.
Yeah, a person with any kind of it's okay. I could probably get that part off.
I thought you turned it off.
No.
Oh, you just edited all of that out. So, where were we at now?
What Barr or whatever. Here's another thing. You know with Nixon, which is another constant comparison to Trump. Nixon with Watergate or whatever, he just told those guys to go get that shit. He just told those guys, and he ended up getting pretty much impeached for telling guys to break the law. Trump openly and admittedly on live national television told his people to commit contempt of court. That's ordering someone to break the law.
I'm okay. I'll complain a little bit. Okay. With Trump, like I said, I don't buy the Russia thing. I think that Russia interfered directly in the elections.
Yeah.
This is my opinion. I don't have no hard data to say, well, you know, I remember on day 35 before the election, some dude was in there with a screwdriver and a SIM card. No, it wasn't anything like that. But there is no reason to believe that they don't have the technical capabilities, nor were there sufficient security measures.
Yeah.
They had a kid, a 13-year-old kid, that in 45 minutes he hacked into one of the voting machines and turned it into a music box or something or the other. So I'm going to speculate that Russia has a great many very capable engineers and people who could in fact get in there and alter the voting.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you don't even need a direct guy. You just need one Russian guy to pay an American guy to tell his underling to let these technicians come in and do it. And then, the technician is on the phone talking to the Russian dude or whatever.
You need one Russian American guy who can vote to go into the booth and fix it. You just need one or two or three booths fixed just to measure out to change enough. You only need to win by a small margin, just big enough not to be
noticeable.
Yeah. On the good side, though, Florida, I know, is going to go Democratic from now on.
Okay.
The reason is since they've allowed Florida to let their ex-cons vote.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I don't know, man. I work in a jail, and I could kind of safely say that the people that are going to vote are probably going to vote Republican. And yes, this is, I am saying that just not in so many words. And I'm saying that because the people that are going to vote are going to be the angry white convicts. And they're going to vote possibly Republican because they're angry white convicts.
So, Hassan, tell me what percentage of the prison population would be angry white convicts?
Well, here, in Florida, it might be different because they have like Dominican population. It's not like where I live, where like they're about 1/3 of the prison. Where I live, I won't say whites are 1/3, but in Florida, they're probably a smaller percentage. But there's also like I said, the ones that are going to vote.
Well, there's going to be a specific, not specific, a general percentage of each demographic that will vote. So of 100,000 African Americans that are in prison, 25-30% of them are going to vote. Of 100,000 Caucasians that are in prison, 25-35% of them are going to vote. However, in a place like Oklahoma, where we are right now, no, in a place the population here is 73% Caucasian.
Yeah.
However, a third of the people, or 33% of the people in prison, are Caucasian. That means that 66% of the prisoners, 67% of the prisoners are minorities.
Yeah.
And first of all, minorities don't tend to vote for Republicans. Generally, when they go to prison, they lose their right to vote.
Yeah, so they don't vote at all.
So yeah, you've essentially stymied an entire block of people. When you give them that right back to vote, they're not likely to vote for people who believe in law and order and locking them up. And making punishment. So you're going to have a sharp increase in the number of Democratic votes that you'll see in Florida.
Not to mention the Democrats, they're going to be all over the TV talking about, there's going to be commercials saying you have your right to vote. They're going to really push that because that's extra votes that they're going to need, that they're going to have to push. Florida is a big time battleground state. So yeah, you're right. I do believe these inmate thing will have.
And they need Florida in order to win.
Yeah.
If they can't get Florida, they can't win.
Also, since we're going on in predictions, I don't want to say it because it sounds wild, but and because of my stupid belief in humans having humanity, I also believe they're going to lose the Ohio, which is also another big time battleground state because of this abortion thing. Like they went too far this time. They really went too far this time. The abortion thing is like it's if you have an abortion, it's a felony. If you go out of state to have an abortion, it's a felony. And like what do you call it? Even in rape, like they went too far. And
That's a joke though, because if you go out of state
Hmm?
to have an abortion, if it's legal in that state, states' rights
Yeah.
matter. You can't stop people from leaving. You can't make it a crime for them to go do something that's legal somewhere else. What are you gonna do next? You gonna catch them when they go up to Canada and drink, and because it's 18 where you're allowed to drink, you gonna get them for being underage drinking?
Well, it's, since abortion is considered a felony, they're committed a felony somewhere else. So you're punishing a felon for destroying, I guess Ohio resident or whatever. It's like if you took somebody, let's just say a real life born person, you took them out of state and you murdered them, and then you come back to Ohio.
Murder is illegal in the other place you're gonna go to also.
Yeah, but like you also murdered Ohio can charge you for murdering one of their citizens. So you might be innocent for murdering your baby over there, but you're not going to be innocent for murdering your baby in Ohio. So extreme things like that.
But wouldn't you need some sort of legitimate? I'm thinking this is kind of like Texas had passed a law that you can't work for the government and participate in the BDS movement, which is the boycott Israel.
Oh yeah. That's some bullshit right there. That's
several times it's gone to court, and the court has said no, you can't stop people from working and stuff like that because they're not. They're making a political speech by they're exercising their right to freedom of speech by boycotting this. Their civil rights by doing this thing. There are lots of laws that are like that. The minute they're challenged, they're struck down.
Yeah.
Because if you had a abortion in California, where, as an example, if it was legal, it's legal there. You are not committing a crime. So the state that you are at can't charge you a crime. It's like an analogy would be like they are arresting you for illegally gambling in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
These are just meant to shore up their base so that when it comes time to vote, they can look at their little Christians and say, look what we have done for the rights of the
unborn children.
Yeah, unborn children. Yeah. They don't give a damn.
I also found another reason why they're so strong on abortion, why Republicans are so strong on abortion. They are strong on abortion because there's no worse insult that you could call somebody than calling them a baby killer. They're like Democrats, they're pro-life, but Republican could also. I'm pro-choice. A Republican could also say, "Oh, so you want to kill babies? You are a baby killer because you want people to kill babies." And it's hard to argue against that. I mean, you can, but at the end of the day, you're still pointing your political opponent as a baby killer with reasonable, arguable.
I think that there's a system intended to keep people doing a certain type of voting.
Yeah.
And how they do it is they convince people that God wants them to vote Republican. Mm-hmm. And because God wants them to save babies, here's an argument for all of y'all to massage your brains with. You hear people say all the time, if it was their time to go, no matter what you did, it was their time to go. That's God's will. If God doesn't want you to go, you can't go. Meaning if you die. Yeah. Now, if you murder somebody, wouldn't you be doing God's work then? Think about that.
Yeah, you still gotta suffer man's consequences.
Oh yeah. I don't believe you should go around killing anybody, but I believe if you make a half-cocked argument that doesn't make any sense and it doesn't fit muster, then you're stupid for making the argument. That's the bottom line. An example being that if you're out of state and you do an abortion, it's legal where you're at. How can you come back and face charges for things that aren't a crime where you are doing them? You know?
Yeah, that's in their law books. But I guess it's the whole enforcing it and punishment that's going to be the problem.
Yeah, it's intended just to shore up the Republican vote.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're taking care of the babies. You know,
Yeah. And we're punishing the baby killers.
yeah, because like I'm not for abortion.
I'm not for it either, but I also believe they have a right to choose. It's a woman's body; she has a right to choose.
I don't know if they have a right to choose, but I know I don't have a right to choose for them.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's the most fair shit. Misogynistic, get fair. Oh shit. Alright, is that all the big news that's gone on political wise for my whole for to no views?
How do you feel about Don Jr. being asked to show up in Congress by a Republican?
Like that, there it sounds badass, sounds awesome. But what I think they're trying to do is they're trying to get him to say what they really want him to say. They're trying to dot their T's and stuff. They probably told him how to answer those questions before they ask him. I'm sure of it. I'm sure they said, "Hey man, you're going to answer it like this because you must somebody's going to catch that you said two different things last time you were here. So this time around, you say it like this, and you make sure it's said like this. So this way we're protecting our ass or whatever."
I disagree, and this is why I disagree. They don't know what the Democrats are going to ask him.
Oh.
And the question is, would you risk Don Jr. making sure you're not in trouble?
Yeah, because he's despite him being an asshole, he's still ride or die for his dad. But
ride or die and smart are two different things.
He's not the dumb one. If anything, they should ask the younger brother, whatever his name is, the blonde one. He might be the one with a little bit more common sense,
Eric.
but yeah, Eric. But I think he'd make the most mistakes. He'd say the most stupid shit. They should have asked him, even though he had very little. What you can do is you ask him. He's going to fuck up, and then that's going to lead to a chain of events. So you could ask more questions.
I say you call all of them in.
Yeah.
And you pit them against each other.
Man, they need to put fucking Ivanka on that fucking thing. That way Trump could have his heartstrings actually touched and hurt even more. And I'm sure you could trip her up. You just have to get past the first 20 minutes of her her the thing she puts out, her facade. But I'm sure if you get past that, you could get her to step up because she's so robotic. You're going to learn how she talks, and you could reprogram her to pretty much say anything you want. But what do you call it? Here's another thing I think is happening with them subpoenaing Don Jr. I think that particular politician, he's trying to get favors from Donald Trump on the back end.
Once you put that subpoena out, you can't pull that back.
No, you don't pull it back. You what do you call it? You threaten him, and then you say, "Hey, Trump, I got these deals. We could ask him hard questions, or we could ask him easy questions." Then you bring up something you might know that Trump might not want him asked, and so then you blackmail Trump into hooking you up on the back end, or supporting you, or just not attacking you later on for shit.
No, but still, you have to worry about the Democrats tripping him up. I guarantee you, if he sits with the Democrats, he's going to perjure himself. See, the reason that they don't want anybody to go there is because the people, if they tell the truth, somebody else gets screwed. If they lie, they get screwed. So the only way to keep them from having to make that decision, me or the team, they tell them nobody can go talk. But with Don McGahn, or is it Don McGahn?
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, McGahn, if he goes to if he goes to Congress, he will sing like a canary because he has one skill, and one skill alone. He is a lawyer. If he is caught lying, he will be disbarred, and his law degree will mean nothing. He'll either have to live on what he's made so far, or he's gonna have to find a fucking job at McDonald's. And I guarantee you, if it comes to have to work at McDonald's or sell Trump out, he'll sing like a canary.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, you get a book deal and shit like that. And of course, that'll be like your last 2 million or $1 million you make off that, and that's gotta last you pretty much for life, just like Comey and shit.
No, 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 no. Money is different to different people. See, for you or me, $2 million, we could stretch that out a lifetime.
Yeah.
$2 million for somebody like Don McGahn, he could probably live comfortably 4 or 5 years, and then after that, he'll have to do something.
Yep.
And in 4 or 5 years, nobody will care about his book anymore. He's a disgraced lawyer. He'll be a Rudy Giuliani.
Man, I still hate that shit happened to him, but he did it to himself. I'm glad he's not in the news no more. Like, like he's one of Trump's clown lawyers, one of Trump's distraction lawyers. Like Trump actually has some pretty decent lawyers, but like you never saw them. They took care of the cases, and they didn't want no fucking press. They didn't want nobody knowing their fucking face because they didn't want that kind of bullshit with them. So they went and did their job and got him out of shit
because they know what's really going on.
Yeah.
Like his lawyers have taken him to court for not paying. The only legal people he can get, the only representation he can get is people that worked in the government, or like you said, clown lawyers like Rudy Giuliani. Nobody worth their salt will ever represent Trump, because like they were saying how they wouldn't allow him to
fire Mueller.
No, not fire Mueller, but they wouldn't allow him to go be what do you call it when you
witness or
to go be deposed, because they know he would lie. If they put him in front of Mueller, he's guaranteed to say some dumb shit and pop him right then and there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because truth be told, maybe Trump doesn't even know the truth himself. So that was actually good. Like, if anything, that Mueller report showed how much people protected his ass, and like they eventually quit it anyway. Like the one White House lawyer, he quit because he got tired of Trump asking him to do pretty much illegal shit or bad idea shit, and it's literally in that report where he says like Trump would ask me to do crazy shit. Like those words are in the report. So he's like, man, fuck this, I'm out. The only real ride or die person for him, and I saw her like slowly change into it more and more every time, was Huckabee Sanders. Like that woman, they made that woman worse than she is.
No. Huckabee Sanders is a paid liar. They have poisoned the entire presidency. Before, the person that would go up to the podium and speak would be speaking on behalf of the president, and what they said were pretty much the words of the president.
Yeah.
They were simply they would have met earlier that day with the president, and the president would say, these are the topics that we're discussing, and this is how I want you to answer it.
Yeah.
Today, the president don't meet with Huckabee Sanders. Everybody shoots from the hips.
Yeah.
There's no consistent message. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bolton's trying to send the fleet down to
Iran again.
Yeah, Iran. Trump's like, we don't know about no Iran. I don't know what you're talking about. They want to go to war with what's the name of the place? Venezuela.
Oh yeah.
Trump meets with
everybody sees that shit for what it is. Like they're like, okay, they have oil. Let's go get that shit. Like, we're not even shocked or angry or outraged anymore. We're like, all right, fine. I guess we're going there.
The people who are staunch Trump files, I guess, that are the voting, that 35% or whatever, that group right there, I don't care what anybody say. They're one, stupid, and they're two, they're anti-American.
No. Well, not in their minds, but
it doesn't matter. I may think I'm a good guy and kill kids and rape old people. that doesn't make my opinions be worth anything because I'm a bad person, And that's how I see it. I don't care when you make. I watched Fox News explain that Trump's a business genius because he lost $1.2 billion. No, motherfucker, you are fucking stupid. You can. I spent 8 years in real estate, so don't tell me depreciation, because I will tell you that it's over like 26 or 28 years or something like that. Depreciation is supposed to happen. So if you're losing $50 million this year, $30 million next year, you are fucking up.
Yeah, and a good businessman makes money, not loses money.
Mm-hmm.
And like Trump's argument of it or whatever was, it was a decent argument. Where it's like you claim losses so that you could, put it on your taxes and stuff. But
Well,
like at some point, that's not just a loss. And at another point, if it's not a loss, it's fraud. It's tax fraud. So this fool has to like keep his fucking eye on this shit. And this will be yet another crime he gets away with that nobody does shit about.
that's what I was gonna say. Is that there is no positive spin on this, none at all. It's either a criminal fraud and tax evasion,
Hmm?
or he's a dumb motherfucker who don't know how to handle money.
Yeah,
You know,
it's been proven.
yeah. But if you ask one of these Trumpites that watch Fox News, oh, he was moving money around. He was doing sophisticated financing. Yeah, nigga, tell me what sophisticated financing means.
And to bring this up, if I haven't brought it up before, I'll bring it up again. He doesn't want to bring up his current tax returns. It's because of what his lawyer Michael
Avenatti.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, not Avenatti. Cohen.
Yeah, Michael Cohen said. He said it in the fucking trial when he was on trial. Trump has made false claims for things he's owned. Like lied about the value of them, and like he's used these lies to get loans. So that's fraud.
Yeah.
So that's why he doesn't want his tax return shows, because people are going to see that they're going to be like, hey, wait a second, you said this was this, this cost this much, but when you claimed it over here, you said it cost that much, and you used this to get a loan from us and from the one bank, Deutsche Bank or whatever. So you've been frauding these companies for years. You should either have to pay a fine or go to jail.
Yeah. So a judge earlier this week, they were trying to block
Deutsche?
Huh?
The Deutsche Bank thing?
Deutsche Bank and the other banks from giving Trump's information to Congress.
Mm-hmm.
So the judge says, we're going to make this speedy. We're going to get this done quick. I want all of that information. I want all of the taxes. And I want the entire Mueller report, unredacted.
Yeah.
Can't tell the judge no. You tell the judge no, you are committing a crime.
Yeah.
And you will go to jail.
Yeah.
So you either give it to them and somebody else sees what's in these things, who might be a neutral third party, or you go to jail. And I know his lawyers are not going to go to jail. Cohen.
Right.
Cohen's been disbarred.
He straight up broke the law, and that didn't have anything to do with the Mueller stuff. Mueller just happened to find that shit when he was looking.
No, he broke the law on behalf of Trump, and the day he goes to jail, the day he goes to jail, he says, "I don't think this is right.
Yeah,
I'm going to jail." But he's the one that told me to do it.
Yeah, but this is one of my favorite brags of Trump, because it's my favorite because I made it up. Trump is the only person who gets a hooker to pay him, because he beat that one woman in the lawsuit, and he gets his lawyer to go to jail for him breaking the law. That's like some most amazing man in the world shit. And this motherfucker's living that shit for real.
Which hooker are you talking about?
Well, she was a hooker for that night, but the porn star Stormy Daniels.
But they paid her.
They paid her, but she had to pay him back because she broke the contract for the you don't talk contract.
The NDA.
Yeah, she broke the NDA. So they sued her for that. They should have sued her for more, but they just made her pay his lawyer fees, which were $100,000, and supposedly she had to sell her stuff and go do some extra hooking. But I think she'd be all right.
She'd be all right.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna cut it off right there because that's all the basic things that happened this week.